G'day, Scott and Terence. G'day, fellas from Fox Studios in Hollywood, as wanky as that sounds. Check out the day in LA. I'll probably reshoot this at night, but trying to give you, I keep saying to you guys, you've got to try and make it like theatre, like a film shoot. My biggest fear with all of that, and I know I'm sounding rude saying it, you just don't want it to be another TC Burn 6 or 7. And that street is even harder because it's lost in a sea of wheelie bins. It is a bit grotty down there. So you want it to look, you've got to kind of push it over to the other side. And I know all the colour and stuff you're doing. I mean, I know, Scott, you're thinking it's going to look like Cafe Neon. It's not meant to look trashy and disco. Things like if you go with the light sculpture down the track, it's going to be it's going to be certain colours. The designs that I've done for the awnings are very New York style, sleek 2 bands of neon. It's almost Art Deco with the light bulbs. At the moment, it's just boring corporate gyprock with downlights in the middle. It's the money that you're spending on it and the investment. It is nothing to put. Go to Underwood Demolitions and put pressed metal ceiling under the underside of that. You just put pressed metal ceiling under that, outline it with light bulbs. All of a sudden, it looks like a magic old school. This is the New York backlot in. It's where it's been here for years, where they shoot all the New York scenes and stuff like that. I'm basically lighting up because only half the studios are full with all the strikes. So basically, what I did at Warner Brothers, turning it into like a function area as well. So here are all of our festoon lights. It's a great job they've got our festoon lights for miles. But there's all the Firefly festoon lights, like what we did at for Aria down the laneway. These are all facades. But what I'm trying to say, when you look down that alleyway, you want to have depth. At the moment, when you look down the alleyway, that building of yours is painted the most disgusting, boring grey, but you do have some brick down there. So when you look down, I know you've got the Fortitude Music Hall and stuff at the back, but you've got those fire exit doors and stuff. Be clever, paint the doors bright red, get some scenic art, put fire exit in big, bright, bold. Because you can see here, that is just a soundstage. It's just a square box that they've painted perspective on it to give you that look down the street. These are all 3-dimensional, but if you look down your alleyway, where you've got the fire doors at the Fortitude Music Hall, put an awning on it, just put a canvas awning on it. You could put light bulbs underneath it. That boring wall there, you could put like that eyelid sculpture that Fabulous Bird did in one of the alleyways for the Big Sound a couple of years ago. Draw people in. Like the whole reason why I've lit all these strings up is to put a warm light in the space. There are so many elements from that alleyway. This is a good example. If we go to this laneway over here, see where you're lucky, where people have to spend a fortune in scenic art and everything like that. You have a facade down there that is pre-existing. Make sure you don't remove the old plumbing. The plumbing that's on the wall that's been there since the building was built. The builders will remove that straight away. You've got to leave that. It's the ugly white pipe. See, all this is all just scenic art. People spend a lot of money to put old downpipes and stuff in, but preserve that, save that. So this is an alleyway here. These very much like the cage lights that I was talking about we use on the wall. But the facade in the back, we're putting those we're slithering 15-degree beams up the wall, so it's quite theatrical. Because it's real brick, and this is actually real brick for in camera for when they do close-ups. When you've got, I can see it with the sun there, see it's all 3-dimensional. When we run the light up the brick, it will look fantastic. And this is not too dissimilar to what we're trying to achieve in the back. And you've got the old windows there. I don't know what's behind the windows there. You can just put LED, like with these you've just got LED behind them so they glow. It gives you depth when you look down the street. We can get an old gooseneck barn light over the entrance, because keep in mind, if that becomes the laneway through to the other street, it's almost like an arcade. See, all this kind of aged, which you've got. You didn't have to spend money on that. Keep all that, those old downlights. Yeah, keep that. It's those ugly white pipes you want to get rid of. See, that's your kind of gooseneck barn light that you could put on above the door of your facade. But it's like, you want to be able to draw people in. You also want them to feel safe. You also want to feel fun. I'm worried that you're just going, oh, we'll just see what happens when you open it. It'll be TC burn thing. Just add a bit of magic to it. Because when you're driving down Ann Street, just pretend this is Ann Street, you're coming up the traffic lights, you literally, the amount of hundreds of thousands of cars that stop at those lights, you can literally see your laneway there. So you need to kind of have those awnings lit up, and you can have some stuff there so it actually draws you in. I'll try and shoot this, but I know I keep saying it, make it like a film set, make it like a film shoot. Don't do what everyone else is doing. Don't just leave it boring, corporate. Yeah, do groovy things on the wall if you can. That's the style of brick that we want to try and achieve. Terence, the building that you've got, it's painted a really dull. See, this is directly behind you. It's all just it's painted just a dull colour. It doesn't take light or anything like that. If you sandblasted that, do you know what colour the brick is behind? Is the brick kind of an interesting brick? You could literally sandblast or just strip it with paint roughly and then put a clear coat over it. It'll just look a bit more better than the bad look. Look at these are the old stages. So this is the lot. But look at the beautiful old Art Deco. Yeah, there's so much history here, boys. So there's the doors for the back lot. So we basically light behind all the windows. This is all wardrobe. So this was built in 37. So these are all the, like, Moonlighting, Bruce Willis, NYPD, Bones, all the various, like MASH. Yeah, so there's a lot of history here. So there's all the windows there. You can see them just kind of dressing them out. And this is what I'm saying, dress the windows out. Do it, just make it magic. But it's not meant to look like a Disco Scott. It is not meant to look like Cafe Neon. Those, probably the artist rendition I madly did for Terence at the airport rather than the artist one. I didn't really like the artist rendition, go figure. I preferred the Microsoft Word at the clenching buttocks at the airport. Just doing clean neon strips along, because all it is just a BHB girder on those awnings. And with gyprock underneath, it's just boring. If you run 2 strops of neon there, just think classic New York, Radio City Music Hall. They have all that girdering around that's all lit in Rockefeller Plaza with the light bulbs underneath. And it's very stylish. You do it in the reds and the blues and the gold and warm white. I hope that makes some sense. Just make it warm and welcoming. I just worry if it stays lame and they like Solatel and all that kind of stuff. Solatel are doing some weird moshi Japanese thing. I would have thought that's exactly what they would want. That mad Tokyo speed racer are kind of fun. It's just got to have energy, regardless of who's going in there. It was Martha Stewart putting in a florist shop there. It's got to have energy. It's got to feel. You got to counteract all the smelly bins at the entrance. People have an attention span of a gnat. When they're walking south up Ann Street, walking towards the valley, you need to be able to draw them in. You also need, when people stop at the lights, to go, there's something happening. Because if it just stays as it is, it just looks boring. It's just a bunch of failed nightclubs. It's a bunch of stinky bins. But hope you boys are well. How good's the day here in LA? God, we're lighting up the Venice sign. They picked our design. Our bulbs are going into that. I was there till some ungodly hour, fogged in last night, and then had 3 hours sleep. Then got back here, and then I've got to be up at Vegas. We're there working for a week up there, but yeah. I know I'm hounding you guys with it. It's your family one. This is not just a strip mall that you're doing in Mackay. This is This is a family building. It's a big block, and I'm hounding you with it because I know how passionate you are, Scott and Terence, with the valley, and I know you tear up fucking tens of millions of dollars saving buildings to keep that music thing. This is an opportunity. This is a very Piccadilly Circus part of the valley. It's all that line of sight there. It's up there with Les's place, the Royal George. I mean, that line of sight as you go into the valley, that has got this huge. It's all that energy flow going into the city. It's just an opportunity to really, because if you're spending money on it, you may as well spend money on it and make it good. But it's got to be a bit naughty. Don't judge me by saying this, but don't do just the corporate Hutchie, CMFU electrician, same old. Do it differently, do it naughty. And Scott, there was a poster that was in the Fortitude Music Hall. I don't know if it's still there, but I was saying to Terence, it was an old Valley poster. I think it was for the council. And there was the old Chinese guy, Mr. Liu, sitting there. It was just the best poster. It just summed up the Valley in a nutshell. Keep in mind the Valley was always naughty, and it was neon, and it was grungy alleyways. Just, I don't know, give it the love that it kind of that space you could do. I better get back to stringing up Christmas lights. See that style of brick? That's what we want. So think at night time, slithers of light. Then you'll have that whole window. We can come back and do all that stuff. It's just, you've just got to get the basics to make it welcoming. And if you're digging up the space, put in there. And as you're looking back, I've got to mark this up in the photos. I just haven't slept in days, but you've got it's quite an intimate space out the back there. You may think it's big, but you can't. The diagram that you sent us with two big floodlights everywhere, it won't work there. You need more lights with less direction. So the lights that I kind of sent you, they're about the size of a dinner plate. They will go there. So even if I'm standing here, the light is not in my face. So if you're sitting at a table dining, that's the whole trick. We're the only ones that really do those lights. If you went to Hayman's and got in-ground lights, you'd be sitting at diners, they'd be putting plates on them, all that kind of stuff. When you turn around to look back down your alleyway, there's the back of your building there. That is a good facade. I'm not sure what the fit out is there, but if you've still got that beautiful facade there, put in-ground lights as well. I can draw it up. You don't need the big ones. The big ones at the back save money, and also it's just you don't need the brightness. You need half the brightness. They're the 6 watt. They're about 10 centimeters in diameter, and you can just light up all of that. So even if it's if you're dining there or it's a nightclub or everything like that, you've got the facade, the height. The whole idea is making that space breathable, giving you the height, giving you the depth. It also bounces a slight bit of light back into the space, like a really welcoming kind of nice light, rather than having ugly floodlights everywhere. Because the city council come and put one street light in there, and the whole place will be fucked. It will be fucked. So don't give them the option to put any street lights in. You just dress the lighting in. For safety, we'll put stuff. So Terence, just tell the electrician you want a dusk or dawn, which will be on a light sensor, which will be just basic lighting, which will be putting lights on the wall, down the alleyway. So that comes on from dusk to dawn. All the other decorative stuff, it's on. Tell the electrician a 7-day timer. So from Monday through to Thursday, it switches off at midnight. But then on Friday and Saturday nights, it's on till 5 o'clock. You don't need to have all the decorative. Got to be a bit stingy like Westfield and Disney. It's not only in electricity, like our stuff doesn't really use power, it's the longevity of the lights. If you can switch them off at midnight rather than having them burn all night, you'll get twice the many years out of it. Quite happy to keep selling you more lights, but I'd rather sleep at night and know that all that stuff and decorative stuff, you'll get twice the amount of years out of it before it needs replacing. And see all this kind of... Keep in mind, for my 15 years in the film industry, we've got enough people that can go and do some good scenic art. Think of all like the old Valley Centre Plaza logo or stuff like that. There's so many cool things we can put on the wall. I know we're limited at budget. You guys were going to get some artist and waste like $200,000 doing some big portrait on the wall. You're probably just as well getting one of the seated guys like an Adam Head to do a groovy ex-Valley advertising and distress it on the wall. Yeah. Okay, gents, that's enough rambling. Not enough sleep, but yeah, hopefully that gives you a bit of a feel. Just dress it, dress it, dress it. Don't make it boring. I'm going to go and design the front gate now. You know, like, I mean, it's 20th Century Fox. I mean, it's at the end of every movie, it's like dun 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 dun. It's all the searchlights and the big logo comes up. The cold hard reality is that same actual real location, the entrance to Fox Studios, is the most boring Kmart. I told them it's the most boring. It looks like the loading dock to a Westfield shopping town. So they want me to come up with some ideas to light that up as well, which will be fun. Oh, see you, gents. Good afternoon from Hollywood.